Alright, let's look at the homework 7.4, 7.5, problem number 14. Alright, so let's try to find a critical number and try to see if, critical points I should say, try to see if they give us a relative max or relative min or a saddle point. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, so in order to find the critical points, we need to find the first partials. Alright, so let's do that. So partial derivative of f with respect to x would be, so partial derivative of x squared would be 2x, and partial derivative of 6xy would be plus 6y. Right? And the partial of these guys are constant, so it's going to be 0. Right? So we set this partial derivative with respect to x equal to 0, and a partial with respect to y would be, right, partial of x squared would be 0, partial of that would be 6x, and partial of 10y squared would be plus 20y, and partial of negative 4y would be negative 4. Partial of 4 is 0, and we set this guy equal to 0. Alright, so we need to solve this. First thing I would do is probably I'm gonna actually divide through by 2 just to make it look a little bit simpler. Alright, so this guy divide through by 2, and we have x plus 3y is equal to 0. So it looks a little bit better. Alright, so here, first thing it would be, I would probably put the negative 4 on the other side, becomes positive 4. So I would add 4. So you have a 6x plus 20y is equal to 4. Then I would go ahead and divide through by 2 just like before. So it's a 3x plus 10y is equal to 2. So it's a 10y. Alright, so I'm going to, let's see, multiply this guy, multiply this equation by, say, negative 3. So negative 3. Then you would get negative 3x minus 9y is equal to 0 times negative 3 is still 0. Alright, that way I can just add them up to get rid of x. So add them up. Alright, so that's going to be y is equal to actually 2. Alright, so if y is 2, we can just plug this guy, say, back in here. So we get x plus, alright, 3 times 2 is 6 equal to 0. And we can just subtract 6, so x equals negative 6. Alright, so therefore we have a critical point, and which is going to be negative 6 comma 2. Alright, so let's find the quantity d. So we need to find the second partials. So here, second partial with respect to x would be, so partial derivative of this guy with respect to x is 2, right? Second partial with respect to y would be, right, second partial of this guy with respect to y would be 20, right? Then mixed partial, right? So it's mixed partial would be, so take the partial with respect to x first, then take the partial with respect to y. So that's going to be 6. So you got 6. Alright, so quantity d is equal to, right, second partial with respect to x times second partial with respect to y minus mixed partial squared. Alright, so it's 2 times 20, 40 minus 36 is 4. So it's positive, right? And which means that it's going to be a relative max or a relative min. But we can look at the second partial with respect to x. Alright, this guy happens to be positive. Alright, so this means that it's basically you have a cup shape and it's facing upward, so it's going to be a relative min. Alright, so you have a relative minimum value is going to be, we just have to plug in the value. So let's find f of -6, 2. Alright, so this is going to be -6 squared, so it's a 36, and plus, alright, 6 times x, so 6 times, I'm going to just plug it in, x is -6, and times 2, right, plus, alright, 10y squared, so 10 times y squared, so 4, minus 4 times y is 2, plus 4. Alright, so what's this? Alright, this is 36, so it's going to be minus, this is 36 in the 72. Alright, so this is going to be 40, and this is going to be -8 plus 4. Alright, so this is going to be, alright, 36 minus 72 is -36, plus 40 is plus 4, and minus 8, so it's going to be actually 0. Alright, so we know that the relative minimum would be 0 at -6, 2. Alright, so let's type it in. Alright, so relative min is 0 at -6, 2. Alright, so let's submit for testing. Alright, I came back. Oh, actually, if and does not exist, maybe I should do that. Does not exist, and does not exist, and does not exist, does not exist. Alright, so let's check again. Alright, I came back, and it looks like we got all these guys correctly. So if you don't have anything else, you just put the D and E in there. Alright, then you get a check mark. Alright, that's it. I hope that this was clear.